When the beat drops, you know exactly what time it is. Hello and welcome. I am Evan Closky, joined as always by my dude, David Schiele. And hold up. What are we doing here with these lights, David? We need to switch something up.
That's actually a really good point. You know what? I got something for you. Yes, sir. It is the Creamsicle game. We're doing it right here in the 10 Tampa Bay studio.
You darn tootin'. Not only are the Bucs back from bye week, David, but we have, dare I say, the game of the week between the Buccaneers and Lions. How many times have we said that in our lifetime?
Zero times. So obviously we're going to preview that matchup, talk about a Creamsicle game more than a decade in the making. Plus, we're going to assess where this team is after the bye week.
Let's get started. It is the 10 and 10, the 10 most important storylines you need to know before today's tilt from Ray J at 425. You have the NFC South leader against the NFC North leader. Bucs are 3-1, Lions 4-1. Lions lead the all-time series between these two with a 31-29 record. This is the 61st meeting, but just the 6th where both have winning records. The Buccaneers are also hoping to go 4-1 for the 6th time in franchise history. This battle will be about Detroit's top 5 scoring offense against Tampa Bay's top 10 scoring defense. Also, don't forget, road golf is certainly a thing. Jared Goff has 56 turnovers in 51 career road games. Also, here's an interesting fact. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won the NFC North / Central before the Lions have. Last time the Bucs did it, 1999. The last time the Lions did it, 1993. That streak could end this year.
You know, Evan, the Bucs and Lions used to play a ton of division battles in the Big Sombrero, so it's only fitting that the Creamsicle uniforms return for an old-school rivalry. Here's a cool Creamsicle moment that happened back in 1994. Vernon Turner scores the first ever punt return touchdown in team history. Look at the high step, too. I like that. At number 9, the best throwback unis are on display for the first time since 2012. The Bucs wore the Creamsicles with Bucko Bruce on the helmets from 1976 to 1996. They came back for 4 years from 09 to 2012. That means Levante David is the only active player on this squad to have worn these orange beauties in a game. The players circled this contest on their calendars because they cannot get over how cool this look is.
Just look at this helmet. Look, this is beautiful. Like the face mask, everything, the white, man, this is, I gotta keep this one.
You know, I'm so excited to wear those, man. I've been waiting for years to wear them. I'm like, man, I hope I'm on the team when they bring these jerseys out.
Nobody never wore them, so I'm the only one who could brag about it and show them how to dress it up, show them how to look in it. So I got that title right now.
The jerseys are sweet, but Evan, the record in them is not.
Nope.
They are 101, 226, and 1 all-time in the Creamsicles. We've come a long way from April 7th, 1997 aboard the Bounty in St. Pete, where they metaphorically made Bucko Bruce walk the plank so they could bury these jerseys at sea. The OGs remember the brand of football associated with these unis. It ain't good.
No, so I have the Creamsicle uniforms number 1 in my all-time rankings of throwbacks, David. But here are my 4 others from each sport in no particular order. The Seattle Supersonics, man, bring them back. The Houston Oilers, which, by the way, the Titans are going to wear. And I think that shouldn't be allowed, but that's a rant for another day. Similar colors, the Philadelphia Phillies. They wore this in the playoffs. I know you ain't happy about that. And then I have to say the OG Tampa Bay Lightning unis. These sweaters are something perfect.
I love them. So as for me, Evan, although I do not like the city right now, the Eagles, Kelly Green, super clean. I got my boys, the Atlanta Hawks. They brought these beauties back. I need one of these in my closet. How about the Mighty Ducks?
I like the movie.
Come on now.
Yeah,
it's a team based off a movie. Like, it's literally so 90s. And then I just love the color scheme of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
This is strong.
I hope they beat the crap out of the Phillies.
Number 8, the Buccaneers are feeling refreshed after a very early bye week. The good news is these boys really needed it, especially on the defensive side of the football where they were beaten up. The squad is almost completely healthy. As for the bad news, the Bucs have to play 13 straight weeks, and that's not even counting for the playoffs. Throughout the past decade, the Buccaneers have only won twice after the bye. A man who is undefeated after a week off is James Yarko of Locked On Bucs, always joining us on the Blitz every week. And at number 7, James, I want to ask you about Calijah Cancey. What kind of impact with the first-round pick making his return to action for the first time since his 11 snaps in Week 1 against Minnesota can this guy make?
really what Calijah Cancey does, we saw in the first half against the Minnesota Vikings. He brings speed, he brings strength, he brings quickness, and he brings another wrinkle to Todd Bowles' defense. He had 9 pass rush snaps against the Minnesota Vikings, ended up with 2 pressures, 1 hurry, 1 quarterback hit, but it allows Todd Bowles to bring in another guy along that defensive line to go with Vita Vea that can chew up blockers. That opens up lanes and frees guys like Shaq Barrett, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, Levante David, Devin White, Antoine Winfield Jr., Christian Izien to come in and blitz from all these different angles because of the amount of over pursuit that some of these offensive linemen are going to have to try to contain Calijah Cancey. So what he does in this defense is really opens even more things up. So the more pressure that Calijah Cancey can create, the more chaos that he can create for his teammates to get after Goff, the more mistakes they can bait him into. And this defense has been extremely opportunistic this season in creating those takeaway opportunities because of the pressure put on the quarterback.
Thank you so much, James. At number 6, while the Lions have to figure out Cancey, the Bucs will have a scarier task trying to limit Aiden Hutchinson. He is a monster on that defensive front for Detroit. The Lions have 14 sacks in 5 games. Hutchinson has 4.5 of those. He also has 4 career interceptions. We expect him to line up more against Luke Gedeke than Tristan Wirfs. So this could be a Michigan product versus a Central Michigan product. Definitely a marquee matchup to have eyes on.
Yeah, no doubt. I guarantee you, David, Baker Mayfield will know exactly where that guy is at all times. Baker enjoyed a great week off going to the Cotton Bowl, making some picks on College game day, and watching his Oklahoma Sooners upset Texas in the rivalry game. Now it's time to get back to work and continue his push towards the NFL Comeback Player of the Year award. I said it, I'm putting him there already. And number 5, I mean, what else can we say about this guy? I feel like every week he impresses, but let's try to explain how good he's been through the first quarter of the season. His passer rating and completion percentage under pressure, number 1 in the league. His passer rating on third down is also number 1 in the NFL. He's 7th in completion percentage, 6th in QBR, and has 7 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions. As Wirfs likes to always say, Baker's a dog, clutch, efficient, and takes care of the football.
Something Baker and Wirfs have in common, Evan, is that they are first-time captains for the Buccaneers. Antoine Winfield Jr. and, believe it or not, Chris Godwin joined the list as first-timers as well. Levante David, Mike Evans, Devin White, and Vita Vea were the other 4 guys named. Always a special honor for these players, voted on by their peers.
You know, it's indicative of what my teammates think of me. I pride myself on being a hard worker, you know, and doing things the right way, and you know, I think that fits right along with that. So I'm grateful.
It's the highest level of respect you can have. You know, I'll say that we have a ton of good leaders. It doesn't change anybody's leadership roles, even if you don't have a C on your chest. I know it's cliche to say, but we have a great team. We have a lot of good leaders.
At number 3, let's talk about this defense a little bit because they deserve some love. Top 15 unit in yards per game, top 10 unit in points per game, but tied for first in turnover differential, which is the X factor for this group, David. Tampa Bay is +7 on the season, tied with the Niners at that mark. Todd Bowles stressed at least 30 takeaways before the season, and after 4 games, they have 10, 6 interceptions, and 4 fumbles.
Love that, a third of the way there. At number 2, let's check in on our sideline segment because it used to have half the Bucs on it, especially on the defensive side, but now they're looking pretty good. All the Bucs have to worry about is Shaq Barrett, who's been feeling under the weather this week. Meanwhile, the Lions will be without multiple key guys, safety Brian Branch, running back Jahmyr Gibbs, offensive lineman Jonah Jackson, and Emmanuel Mosley at cornerback.
At number 1, let's give our assessment of a handful of players before the long journey begins towards a playoff spot, David. We have done this in years past, but let's break out our I am him rankings. There can only be one.
There can only be one him, but we are going to give you the top 5 guys on the squad that are making the biggest impacts. Evan, I'm going to let you go first, and for the sake of conversation, we're going to leave Baker out because he's the quarterback. It's the most important
obviously,
position.
He's always him. He needs to be him. At number 1, I got Antoine Winfield Jr. If he can stay healthy, he's got an all-pro nod coming his way. 2nd, Tristan Wirfs. He has made the transition from right tackle to left tackle look easy. 3rd, Vita Vea. 4th, I'm going Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in a tie. Their impacts are equal. And 5th, Luke Gedeke. I am impressed, David.
So we have a lot of similarities. The only player we have in the same position, though, is Antoine Winfield Jr. I've got Mike Evans second, Tristan Wirfs third, Luke Gedeke is fourth, and I agree with you, Evan. What a comeback story for this guy. But let's show some love to the specialists. Yes, I'm talking about that GDG, Jake Camarda, and Chase McLaughlin. Show some love. They've been awesome.
Get out of here. This guy's got special teamers on here. All right, so we've done the I am him before, but now let's do the I am Jim. These are the guys that we are looking to see a little bit more out of. And David, I'm going to let you go first on this one. Any special teamers here?
No. No, because the special teamers have been awesome. So number one, Logan Hall. This is the first time I've said his name all season. That's because he's not making plays. Number two, Jamel Dean. He's given up 12 catches on 17 targets this season, grading pretty poorly. The numbers are even worse for Ryan Neal. 6 targets, 6 catches allowed, Evan.
Yeah, you know, David, I agree with you on Hall. He's been pretty much a non-factor in the trenches at 2. I got Robert Hainsey, all right? He's working his tail off, but still looks a little bit overmatched at times. Finally, Joe Tryon-Tranka, all right? Jason Light called this man out before the season. He was a menace in the Bears game, but he's too talented not to show those flashes more consistently. All right, David, what do we got today on 10 Tampa Bay?
Home stretch here on the Blitz. 10 Tampa Bay is showing one game today, and that's Carolina at Miami. The Panthers are the only team in the league without a win. I don't think they're going to get number 1 today.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Checking out our Blitz picks record, we both went against the Bucs in Nolans, so I am 3-1. David's 2-2. As long as David keeps riding my picks, I'm looking pretty good the rest of the season. And you know what? I think the Buccaneers are in a great spot today. They just came off a bye week. They're fully healthy, 100%. Calijah, Cancey back in the trenches. Meanwhile, Lions are banged up, and all week I'm hearing about this team possibly being a Super Bowl contender, one of the best teams in the league. Nuh-uh. Buccaneers, they keep that underdog story rolling, 23-20 Tampa Bay.
So I made a vow to go opposite whatever Evan picked. So because of that, I'm going to have to go with the Lions. To me, this game is a toss-up, and I actually think it'll be a shootout, final score 35-28.
Disrespecting Todd Bowles like that. Go get that flag. Let's go, baby. We've been waiting since 2012 for this game, the Creamsicle game. Look at this. Bucko Bruce, he is back. That is David Schiele. I am Evan Closky. This is The Blitz. Thank you for joining us. Kickoff today from Ray J 425. We'll see you in the same place, same spot next weekend.